podcast, a white podcast. You sat your for almost 2 hours
and didn't leave.
and you talk. And the white folk ask you, was you a professional officer?
Yeah.
We would have never asked you that, nigga.
Right.
We got respect for you.
Right.
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently, like it wasn't even disrespectful. And then I get to sit back and watch that. And what's the difference between them and us?
Okay.
Now I feel disrespect.
Right.
Don't do us like that.
You all believed that everything you had seen online was incorrect because the entire internet was in disarray due to what I'm about to tell you. I'm referring to TikTok's inability to keep up, Instagram being on fire, and Twitter crashing. We are discussing the day, yes, DC Young Fly destroyed Rick Ross, and you guys didn't see it coming. Please click the subscribe button and let me know who actually won in a comment before we start. Okay, let's move forward. Thus, boom, DC Young Fly and Rick Ross began trading jabs over the internet. People initially assumed it was a prank, but this quickly got out of hand. What began as comments developed into a full-fledged, widely shared roast in which people were taking sides. The chronology was illuminated. Every page and blog was discussing this. People knew this was going to be good, so they were creating popcorn memes. The first shot was thrown by Rick Ross. He uploaded one of those iconic videos, cigar in hand, talking his mess in a fancy automobile. He says something along the lines of, comedians should stay in their own section, leave business to the real bosses. I thought to myself, ooh, Ross, baby, what are you doing? When I heard it, since DC Young Fly wasn't the right person. For years, this man has been making fun of folks on Wild 'N Out. He is a roast assassin. Ross just stepped into the line of fire. When Ross made that remark, DC noticed it and said, oh, you want to play? In a matter of minutes, he replied. People realized right away that Ross had chosen the incorrect one because it was so quick and acute. The comments were absurd. Friends were being tagged with messages like, yo, did you see what DC just said? This is where the heat starts. DC responds, boy, if you don't go sit down with them lemon pepper wings and that Maybach you still leasing. It was lost on the internet. Twitter was in complete disarray. Instagram took off. Before the sentence was even complete, TikTok began creating reaction videos because DC didn't just make fun of Ross. Instead, he hit him where it stung. The lemon pepper wings is called Wingstop. The Maybach line implies that Ross is showing off vehicles he doesn't even own. That's the kind of roast that cuts deep, man. Celebrities who weren't on Ross's side began to step in. They were giving DC roses. Remarks like, DC just cooked that man and Ross should never have started this. Meanwhile, Ross is uploading more opulent content in an attempt to appear indifferent. But there are jokes, wing, and lemon emojis in every post comments. Jokes about Wingstop become popular. The internet was having a great time. Ross determines that he must respond. He says, comedians make jokes because they can't make real money.
Since he walked off on
Man, we were just talking to Angie Martinez about that yesterday. We in Atlanta, so we run into him all the time. He do car shows. So it ain't never been no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to say no hard feeling.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, first of all, I don't give
Yeah, I get it.
but I give them because
Try to make it.
you as a person.
Yeah.
We the type of people that will never bring up nothing that we feel like that can be diminished to your career or anything, nigga, because we some real niggas.
Yeah.
The moment you leave our show.
That's 8, the internet said. The clapback is that due to the success of DC Young Fly's comedy specials, films, and hosting from Wild 'N Out, DC is receiving funding. Even Ross's admirers did not believe him. Despite the failure of the comeback, DC wasn't finished. Boy, your entire life is built on lemon pepper and lies, he declares as he goes live. Falsehoods, he declared, lies. Once more, the internet exploded. You couldn't read the comments since they were flowing so quickly. People were taking screen captures, editing them, and creating memes. In real time, DC rose to a legend. Additionally, he delivered DC and started discussing the past, the incident with the correctional officer, dubious commercial practices. How are you the biggest boss when your biggest L's keep going viral? He even stated. Terrible, because it's accurate. And DC did so with the least amount of effort. The level of respect for DC was really high. This began to be treated like a rap war on the internet. Scorecards and summaries such as "Round 1 goes to DC" were being posted. The most bizarre aspect was that DC was simply speaking charismatically without even rapping. Just personality, no rhythms or bars. And for some reason, it was more powerful than any diss tune. Real managers don't entertain clowns, according to a motivational speech posted by Ross. But the internet didn't support it. You're obviously bothered, though, somebody said. Even Ross's supporters were urging him to accept defeat and move on. When you respond, you're demonstrating it affected you, and Ross was obviously affected by DC. Rick Ross was made into a meme. People unearthed old videos, found dubious interviews, and retrieved old tweets. TikTok was overrun with alterations, Twitter had remixes, and Instagram had meme pages dedicated to this. Ross couldn't escape it, and the jokes about lemon pepper never stopped. DC was getting his roses in the meantime. He was likened to legendary death comics like Jamie Foxx, Bernie Mac, and Cedric the Entertainer. This became a cultural moment, demonstrating that humor always triumphs over wealth, and comedians control the internet. DC kept things humorous. Fans went crazy when he made a joke about making a lemon pepper laughter Netflix special. That's the difference. DC was skilled at roasting without going overboard. Expert comedy at its best. Ross's live discussion about success in business ought to have been successful, right? But DC quotations and lemon emojis were all over the comment section. People were lying and typing lemon pepper. Ross tried to ignore it, but it was obvious that it affected him. He lacked vitality. Celebrities took sides. 21 Savage, The Baby. Others were commenting with laughing emojis and enjoying DC's posts. Ross's page, on the other hand, appeared to be a ghost town. DC Young Fly was declared the winner by the internet. Everyone agreed. DC won. Ross's worst losses in his career were taken. This showed that comedians understand the internet, humor, and timing better than rappers who flex it online. Wit triumphs over wealth every time. Ross thought his luxury would silence DC, but DC just used words and personality to undermine what Ross had created on the internet. Maybachs, mansions, and inspirational speeches could not save Rick Ross. DC showed you don't need money to win online. You just need a phone, confidence, and humor. Ross thought his rank would protect him. DC demonstrated that a person's status has no bearing on their natural humor. The internet responded negatively to claims by some Ross admirers that DC was pursuing influence. Fast DC had already achieved success in comedy, acting, and production. He didn't need Ross's influence. Similar to Ross's comebacks, the argument was unsuccessful. Ross was criticized for being out of touch and flexing too much on the internet. DC's jokes had more impact because he expressed what fans were thinking. The roast was successful because of this. It was computed using a real-world example that people could relate to. DC kept it tidy and humorous, never insulted Ross's family, and never used profanity. That was respected by the fans. It's simple to go too far in 2025, but DC demonstrated that you can roast someone without compromising your moral character. He became legendary because of this. DC was loved by Kevin Hart and Mike Epps, who reposted and provided support through comments. DC deserved to be considered one of the greats. He received an incalculable amount of respect. Ross offered DC a greater platform while attempting to humble him. This revealed a significant culture change. Rich flex content has worn people out. They are looking for something humorous, relatable, and genuine. They got that from DC. Ross made it obvious whose side they were on and represented the old guard the people are growing weary of on the internet. There were memes everywhere. Ross edited advertisements for Wingstop. I have songs about wings with lemon and pepper. Fake posters for films. Every time Ross shared something new, it turned into a meme. He was unable to prevail. He was the punchline according to the internet. DC gained full control. Headlines appeared on blogs. Rick Ross is surpassed by DC Young Fly. Ross was no longer the focus of the story. It has to do with DC. The greatest loss is when the focus of the story shifts from you to the person who roasted you. Ross became radio silent. That was viewed as a defeat on the internet. Remarks such as, Ross finally realized he lost. DC continued to trend, perform, and make jokes throughout the interim. There was a noticeable difference. DC was winning. Ross was in hiding. People now bring up the lemon pepper roast whenever Ross makes a flex. This is what he left behind, all because he initiated a relationship with DC Young Fly. Fans claim that DC gave Ross the most humorous reality check he needed. There were rumors that DC and Ross could collaborate on a podcast or sketch, make a sack out of the beef. It would be consumed by the internet. A redemption arc is adored by people. Perhaps they will collaborate on a Wingstop commercial. Stranger things have occurred. Timing, self-confidence, and charisma helped DC Young Fly win. He demonstrated that all it takes to succeed online is wit and personality, not wealth or prestige. Ross discovered that genuine humor is superior to money. You will lose if you oppose someone who controls the narrative, even if you own all the vehicles and houses. That's it. The complete explanation of how DC Young Fly defeated Rick Ross in one of the most renowned roast fights ever. This was a turning point in culture and a reminder that the internet is dominated by comedians. Leave a remark. Who prevailed? Was Ross able to match DC's perfect roast game? Click the subscribe button, hit the like button, and forward this to anybody you think should see it. It's too good not to tell this story. Okay, everyone, I'm leaving. I'll see you in the next one. Tranquility.